A'ja Wilson is upset that Caitlin was able to pursue the possibility of relocating to Europe. A'ja has already made demands to be the face of Nike, and the amount of money Caitlin may earn elsewhere is now creating tension.
Nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong when, in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from...
A'ja is unhappy because she feels that since Caitlin won MVP, she should be the most talked about player and receive the most opportunities. But that isn't the case. If she moves overseas, she will be the highest paid women's basketball star in the world.
A'ja Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in a regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment?
Exactly.
Why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Why when A'ja was releasing the shoe, were we talking about Caitlin?
Caitlin has made the WNBA one of the most watched sports, improved sponsorship deals, and raised salaries. But the league still has players that act jealously, which is why she should quit. Let's examine a game in which Caitlin Clark is not present.
It's now commonplace where she'll go for 26 and 12. I mean, those are great numbers for any player, no matter how long you've been in the league. She's learned how to play the game, and she said, I had to learn how to play the WNBA way.
Despite the fact that there were no WNBA fans before to Caitlin's arrival, A'ja believes she is the star. Caitlin ought to be the top-paid player. Maybe she will relocate overseas and demonstrate to players like A'ja Wilson what life would be like without her. But
if you guys take a look at the stands, all the seats, even the courtside seats, are empty.
The WNBA has been rocked by the possibility that Caitlin Clark may negotiate a contract with the European Basketball League. Europe has always been regarded as a haven for elite athletes in a variety of sports, with competitive leagues providing lucrative contracts and Caitlin with international renown. Playing in Europe has substantial financial benefits, with earnings frequently surpassing those provided by the WNBA. Europe offers a chance to maintain its high level of dominance in the game while securing a prosperous future.
4. Moved home games to bigger arenas when Indiana came to town to accommodate more fans. I'm not finished. Attendance for the entire league is up nearly 50% this year, and Indiana leads all teams with an average attendance of 17,035, up 319% from a year ago.
39% more than a year ago, A'ja Wilson has expressed her feelings about Caitlin Clark's contract with the WNBA in the open, and the main source of her annoyance is money. For A'ja, who has long dominated the league, the thought that Caitlin could make more money overseas hurts because it's not just about financial security. It's also about the recognition that comes with being the highest paid player. Earning more means being valued more. And for A'ja, this change in earning potential jeopardizes her position as one of the league's top players, whose salary frequently translates into respect. On and off the court, the most paid athletes are frequently seen as the most valuable. A'ja, who has dedicated her life to establishing her reputation and securing her place in the WNBA, must now confront the unsettling possibility that Caitlin's rising star may overshadow her. For someone who has represented the league for many years, this is a hard pill to take.
Went from being one of the most loved teams in the WNBA to being riddled with so much drama this season. A'ja Wilson was under fire last week for the privileged comment that she made to Kelsey Plum.
But it's not just about the money. Plum, A'ja's response to Caitlin's contract with Europe is also based on her fear of losing her position as the league's top player. For years, Caitlin has been a name that people think of when they talk about women's basketball, but her quick rise has altered that. The idea that Caitlin could not only out-tier her but also steal the show abroad is a blow to A'ja's sense of security and prominence in the sport, because being the face of the WNBA is about more than just being a fantastic player. It's about being the athlete who captivates the public's attention, attracts viewers, and represents the league internationally, although A'ja Wilson has long had this role. Caitlin Clark's ascent has spurred intense rivalry between them.
Agree with it. I thought she would be unanimous. I mean, it's not even close, because I said the most important person in the league is Caitlin Clark, and should be a top 5, if not, it should have been a top 3 MVP.
One of the most obvious distinctions between A'ja Wilson and Caitlin Clark is how fans view them. For A'ja, it's not just about being the best player. It's also about staying relevant in a quickly evolving landscape where Caitlin's name is becoming synonymous with the future of women's basketball. Due to Caitlyn's rapid growth of a devoted fan base that enthusiastically supports her on and off the court, her strong social media presence, and the high viewing of her games, there is now a noticeable gap between the two players. A'ja, in spite of her years of success, have not been able to match the level of fan loyalty that Caitlyn seems to command effortlessly. Why has Caitlyn been able to attract fans so quickly while AA struggles to maintain the same level of admiration? Part of it is the excitement of new talent. Fans are always drawn to the next big thing, and Caitlyn's entry into the WNBA has given the league a new narrative. Fans view her as the sport's future, while A'ja, despite her consistent dominance, is seen as a part of the leagues.
You're supposed to be the MVP, and you only got one win out of that series. That's why I think, now I wonder if they had a 5-game series in the first round, there might be a possibility they may not win that series.
A'ja is frustrated by this lack of fan acknowledgement since she has put a lot of effort into creating her legacy, and yet someone who has just recently started to make an impression is overshadowing her. A'ja is worried that as Caitlyn's army of supporters grows, her own fan base may dwindle, placing her in a less powerful position both in the league and in the public eye. Winning MVP should have cemented her as the face of the WNBA, but instead she's watching. This isn't just about losing fans. It's about losing relevance in a league where fan loyalty can make or break a player's career. Caitlyn takes center stage, and there are some perplexing things about her. Despite everything that Caitlyn has done for the WNBA in terms of advocacy and viewership, she has encountered resistance from within the league, which is surprising considering that she has not only raised the profile of women's basketball, but also introduced significant changes like charter jets for player travel. Clark's rise is the league's apparent reluctance to fully embrace her. Why would the WNBA, a league that ought to be honoring its players, treat Caitlyn in this manner? The nature of change holds part of the solution. Caitlyn embodies a new generation of athletes that questions the status quo.
People were so bad, they got the #1 pick. You gotta be bad to get the #1 pick. And she led them to their first 20-win season in almost a decade. She led them to the playoffs. I mean, the girl deserved the award.
The prize for candor, she has become a contentious character due to her speedy ascent to stardom and her determination to demand better terms. Some view her as a player who is appending the league too soon and a threat to the status quo, but this resistance is also motivated by power. Kin's authority has increased to the point where she can now make demands, which can be unsettling for people accustomed to being in charge.
LeBron James had tennis shoes in his rookie year. He didn't have a fraction of the impact on the NBA that Caitlyn Clark has had on the W.
The league's unwillingness to provide full support. Caitlyn represents a larger conflict between retaining authority and giving players a say. Beyond her onk, Caitlyn Clark has made significant contributions to the WNBA. Performances in court. One of her most noticeable contributions to the league was the launch of charter jets, which greatly enhanced player travel circumstances prior to Caitlyn's campaigning. WNBA players had to contend with demanding travel itineraries that frequently left them exhausted and unable to provide their best effort, so they pushed for charter jets. Caitlyn succeeded in making the space more welcoming and professional. Better travel conditions are only one way she helps her fellow athletes focus on what they do best, playing basketball. She has been a strong supporter of enhancing WNBA players' overall experience, from fair pay to improved working conditions. Despite opposition from some of her peers and the league itself, Caitlyn has persisted in advocating for constructive changes that benefit everyone, even though her willingness to voice her opinions on these issues has made her a leader within the league. Have not received widespread recognition for her work rather than being honored. There is now a divide between those who support Caitlyn's vision for the future and those who are opposed to the changes she represents because some players, like A.A. Wilson, view Caitlyn's push for change as a challenge to the way things have always been done. Caitlyn Clark.
Clark, #1 in jersey sales, Angel Reese 2, Sabrina 3, Kate Martin 4. We talked about this earlier in the season. I feel sad that Kate Martin also hasn't gotten as much playing time the second half of the season. I feel like she deserves more, or maybe she deserves a different team. How crazy would that be if she went to Indiana?
The effect on viewing is one of the WNBA's biggest worries if Caitlyn Clark decides to move to Europe. The WNBA has seen a significant increase in viewership whenever Caitlyn is on the court, but a noticeable drop in attendance when she is not there. Caitlin has become one of the league's most popular players, with fans tuning in specifically to watch her play her dynamic style of basketball and her ability to connect with fans on a personal level. In addition to losing one of its best players, the WNBA would lose a sizable section of its viewership if Caitlin left for Europe. Losing a player like Caitlin could have devastating effects for the league as a whole, as individual players like A'ja Wilson would also suffer from fewer fans attending games. Sponsorship deals and endorsement opportunities would likely decline, impacting players' earnings and their ability to develop their personal brands, and Caitlin's ability to draw viewers is unmatched. Her departure would leave a void that would be difficult, if not impossible, to fill for a league that is still working to grow its fan base and increase its visibility.
The paying customer, the audience didn't feel that way. They did not give a damn about the WNBA. Is that fair to the ladies? No, it isn't fair. But they're the paying customer. You don't tell them what they want, they tell you what they want. And they really were not feeling the WNBA to the degree that they're feeling the WNBA now, obviously because of Caitlin Clark.
If Caitlin quits and takes a sizable percentage of the audience with her, A'ja, who has already voiced dissatisfaction at Caitlin's rising star, will be in an even more challenging position. Beyond the court, A'ja Wilson is also frustrated with Caitlin Clark in the realm of endorsements, specifically with Nike. Despite Caitlin's growing fame, Nike has been slow to completely embrace her, whereas A'ja has received substantial brand marketing. A Nike athlete for years, has worked hard to establish her brand and establish herself as one of the company's top athletes. Because of the controversy surrounding her in the Asian League, Caitlin has been largely sidelined. This is about more than just money. It's about recognition and influence. In an athlete's career, endorsements are vital in forming their public image and giving them the funds to compete at the highest level. Nike's reluctance to fully support Caitlin exemplifies the fine line that companies need to walk between promoting elite talent and staying out of the spotlight.
This is expected of Caitlin Clark. She's supposed to be great. She's not the Rookie of the Year. Angel Reese is, because that's a surprise, which to me is wrong. Should LeBron not have won the Rookie of the Year because he was supposed to?
Despite her best attempts to improve the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has encountered strong criticism from the league as well as some of her fellow players. This criticism begs the crucial question of why Caitlin is perceived as being so misunderstood from the outside, which may sound perplexing. Why does Caitlin encounter such animosity when she has only served to promote the WNBA, boost viewership, enhance player conditions, and fight for the league's survival? Players like A'ja Wilson, who have been in the league longer and have gained more fame, may feel envious and frustrated because many players labor for years to get the kind of recognition that Caitlin has in a short amount of time to spend a lot of effort into developing their reputations. Although Caitlin's success can seem like a threat, her departure to Europe marks a turning point for her personally and for the league as a whole. The contract gives her a new beginning away from the animosity she has encountered in the WNBA. Europe offers her financial security and the opportunity to advance her career internationally, but the WNBA may suffer greatly if she leaves.
Regardless of whatever noise has been out there. So when you show that you're able to perform in the face of adversity, to me, that is the true testament to greatness. And that's why we're looking at her and we're saying greatness is on.
Given that losing Caitlin would result in a decline in viewership and fan interaction, endangering the league's expansion, this choice might tip the scales in women's basketball, with Europe becoming a new destination for elite players. In order to retain future stars, the WNBA must choose whether to modify and enhance player conditions or run the danger of losing more talent to chances abroad. If you liked Caitlin's decision, please leave a like. It will set the tone for the WNBA's future, influencing the league's development and the players' trajectories. Additionally, subscribe to see more videos today.